Stop that stream. Start that. Is it working? Hey, what's up? We're live on Twitch. What's up, everybody? And theoretically, we're live on YouTube. Yeah, there we go. Now it went. How's it going, everyone? We're back with episode 11.5 of the BCS show. I'm CJ.
And I'm Spects, and it went live in my Discord.
Yay, it worked. That's awesome. That it's all automated.
You should get a notification. Oh, I didn't have it ping everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see. I can't open it on my computer, otherwise it'll break the OBS view, and everyone will be able to see it. But
Gotcha.
That's sick though. Live on. Okay, so it did the Twitch one.
Yeah.
Oh, and it only does YouTube vids. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's sick how that's set up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of our horse teams were on buys this week.
Yep.
Doesn't it feel good to have it?
And then they
late
play
in
each
the
other.
Season? And then we play each other. Yes. Is it
God.
Do we play each other coming off the bye, or is it?
Yeah, it's the 15th.
Is it the 15th?
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
it's a big playoff implicator.
It is huge playoff implicator. Like, because the Broncos are right now hanging on to that 7th spot, and in that 8th spot's the Colts.
Yep.
At 67.
And the best part is the Colts schedule is really easy to finish it off.
It is
not so much for you.
Yeah, our schedule. Let's see. Yeah, your schedule's really easy, which we talked about. Yeah, the Broncos. We have after you guys. We have the Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thing is, though, I am not convinced the Chargers are actually good.
Okay.
Like, I don't. They just feel super fake to me. They don't. I don't know. I understand they're 8-4, but their offense is not fantastic, and they've gotten beat by the good teams. Like, their wins are Saints, Browns, Titans, Bengals, Falcons, Panthers, Raiders, Broncos. Like, the Broncos are the best team out of that. I think they've benefited from an easy schedule, honestly.
Probably.
At least that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And then the Bengals may not care by the time that game rolls around. Same with the Chiefs. So
Probably.
While the Broncos theoretically have a hard schedule, I think it actually might end up being easier because of where the Chiefs and Bengals will end up being at that point.
Well, the Colts end up 11, and if they do lose on Sunday and win out, they'd be 11-8.
No, they're
8.
They're 6-7 right now. So if they were to lose,
they'd be
9-8. Yeah,
9-8,
which probably doesn't. Yeah, which wouldn't get you a playoff spot
unless you guys lose another game, which is possible, which is all likelihood.
I think we'd have to lose out at that point.
I don't think you'll necessarily lose out. Well,
because the Broncos are already 8-5.
But if the Colts somehow win out.
Yeah, I think in order to make the playoffs, the Colts may need to win out. Like, maybe you can drop one more, but then at that point, you're definitely playing with tiebreakers.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing would be is like, okay, who's the Chargers? Because so in terms of like the playoff standings, if the Chargers lose, they're still at 90%. If they win, they're basically clinched.
So if they win this next week, they basically clinch?
So, yeah, because according to playoff odds, they say if they win, they're at 99%. So, like, the Bills and Chiefs are already clinched, essentially. Steelers is all but locked up. Texans are probably locked up. And then it just becomes the Chargers and the Ravens.
Okay.
So our percentage chance, if we care about it, is at 26. We're at 26% chance to get in, whereas the Broncos are at 73.
70s. Yeah, okay. That sounds about right. Because, yeah, the Broncos do have a tougher schedule the rest of the way, but we might get the benefit. And also, we're 2 games up, which is huge at this point. Like, that's the thing is, like, it's kind of weird that there's such a huge gap between 7 and 8 right now. Like, a 2-game gap this late in the season is pretty big. Usually there's a little bit more opportunity for jostling of position and stuff, but like
I mean, so the whole thing is, I'm not saying it can't happen. It still could happen. Because like
right.
the Colts, because if the Colts go in and win on Sunday, they're 7-7. The Broncos are 6-8, 8-6, and then they have a favorable schedule. So by all
Right.
accounts,
And
if
you would
they
own the tiebreaker over the Broncos, which
so
is probably the most
realistically
important
they
thing.
win, yeah. So they win out. They win the next four. All of a sudden, they're 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the Broncos lose to like the Chargers and the Chiefs. You know, what did you say? Who do they play again?
Bengals and Chiefs are the other two.
So let's say they lose to like somehow like they get into a shootout with the Bengals and they win like, and the Broncos lose 2-3. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it definitely gets not so comfy.
because then realistically they lose so they lose 3 or 4 essentially.
Yeah.
They're all of a sudden 9-8,
Right.
and it's possible.
Yeah, 9-8 doesn't feel good. Whoever's at 7th playoff spot, I think ends up having 10 wins. No, like no matter how you cut it, I think 10 wins is the threshold here because essentially the AFC there's 7 good teams, 8 wins or above. There's like 3 in the middle teams, and then everyone else sucks. Like it's
basically there's 8 teams jostling for 7 positions, and then one team that thinks it's still there, and it's like
the Dolphins and Bengals
really
think
teams.
They're still there, but yeah, it's really 8 teams.
It's 8 teams for 7 spots, and really it's going to come down to Sunday where that 7th spot goes, because if the Broncos lose out and the Colts win out, they're still up 1 game.
Right. Yeah.
So really, like I said, the playoffs will probably be decided Sunday for us at least.
They might end up getting set in stone on Sunday. Yeah. Like
unless something really weird happens with the Texans and they like fall apart, but we don't know any.
That is the other piece, because you're also only 2 games behind them. Honestly, they're the other kind of wild card and they've been playing kind of crappy.
Yeah, especially since they lost.
They barely beat the Jags. They lost the Titans.
And they lost, and plus, in the top of it, they lost their number 1 receiver. Mm-hmm. And they played the Dolphins on Sunday.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a tough schedule? So they played. So 2 of their games are winnable: Dolphins and Titans. But then they play the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Ooh. Yeah. That might be the opportunity.
All of a sudden,
that might be the one.
All of a sudden, this has got very interesting, especially with what you're looking at, what the Colts have to contend with.
The downside for the Colts is the Texans.
We own no tiebreakers.
Yeah,
we own no tiebreakers. So it have to be like, and I mean, for what it is worth, if this matters to you,
mm-hmm.
It may or may not. Where are they? I'm pretty sure the Titans played the Texans very tough in the first.
No, they beat the Texans. The Titans won. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did win. Yeah. So I mean, realistically, that happens again.
Yeah.
They too lose 3 out of 4. We win 3 out of 4. All of a sudden.
Yeah, it's 3. Yeah, 3 out of 4 would do it. Or would that put you with the same record?
They'd be 9. Oh, it'd be the same record. They have to lose out, huh? Because they'd be 9-8. Because this, let's say, so 9-5.
Thing is, losing out, I think,
9-6
is a very real possibility.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think I think they beat the Dolphins unless.
Well, here's the thing though. This is probably the last week the Dolphins can really try. Because if the Dolphins lose this week, they're definitely out of the playoff picture. Whereas I think they still have a puncher's chance, like a very, very low chance, but they do have a chance of making the playoffs still because they're 5-7. So I think the Dolphins are going to be playing desperate. Then you have the Chiefs, who, again, I think would be playing pretty desperate because they only have a 1-game lead over the Bills. Then you have the Ravens the next week, who again will be fighting for a playoff spot because they're going to be fighting for the wild card, or in their case, probably even the division. Then in week 17 or 18 or whatever, I think it's 18 now. The Titans, every bad team wants to play spoiler at the end of the season, and they've already beaten the Texans once.
And the Titans are at home.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not saying I would bet it, but
it's not as it's not a
It's not a
it's not.
shoo-in, you know.
But the
Like,
whole thing is tiebreakers. So like, really, it might just be if the God. Could you? I don't. The whole thing is, do you really see the Texans losing 4 straight?
and that's the tough part is it. They are good.
They're
Like,
good, but they have a tendency to play with their food, and I know CJ Stroud hasn't exactly been
he hasn't been as good as he was last
stellar.
year. Yeah, and their safety is he a safety? Yeah, I think
Oh,
he's
they
a
lost.
safety.
Yeah, they lost one guy for the
Who's
rest of the season.
he's suspended for 3 games.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you saw that hit, but that was one of the dirtiest hits I've ever seen.
I thought every time I
That was
saw it at full
disgusting.
speed, I didn't necessarily think it was dirty, but then I saw that he launched himself. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Launched himself to a sliding quarterback. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like it would be one thing if this happened 20 years ago when they were kind of tweaking the rules for player safety and everyone wasn't used to it.
Back then, it'd be like, oh, grow up.
And
pussy.
now it's like
now
it's like this guy's been playing that way since he was 5 years old. He should know not to to do that.
Launch yourself at him like a torpedo.
Yeah, while he's sliding. Like, and that, like, it's one thing to launch yourself at a guy, like a receiver going over the middle. Like, I understand you want to dislodge the ball, but like the quarterback is obviously sliding. It's not like he's not Anthony Richardson who's going to try to run you over. It's Lawrence. Like,
it's a little white boy. It's a
yeah,
little white boy.
He's running is not his game. He's going to slide. So that was tough. And I guess the Lawrence was put on IR today for
so he's done.
Yeah, he's done for the year because of they say because of his shoulder, which I think he probably did. He already had that shoulder issue, but obviously it's also the concussion because he got back in the mid 2000s. He would have been on jacked up. So
yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. We have to wait a week and see what happens. Like maybe the Ravens lose one. Then you're only 1 game back of the Ravens.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot. There's a lot going on, but it'll pretty much all be decided in the next 2 weeks. Like
probably, and then I won't have to care.
Yeah, like there's a chance like things break away a certain way where the playoff teams are pretty much set after next weekend because of that gap that already exists. So,
and then like I said, then I won't have to care anymore. It'll be fantastic.
Right. Then it's time for something else.
Then I don't know what I do. Then I enter what I like to call my break period.
See, that's funny because my break period is in the summer during baseball season because the Rockies are barely a functioning organization.
Yeah.
So then the NFC side. The NFC is weird because there's still 2 divisions that who in the hell knows what's going to happen. Like the NFC West and the NFC South are basically like everyone is still in it, even though the leader
no one should be in it.
6-6 and 7-5. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it awful?
It is. It's kind of gross, honestly. Like I always hate seeing that 8-8 team make the playoffs, and you're like, I don't know why you're here. I don't
because someone has to be.
Yeah, it's like because someone has to be, but I'm sure there was someone better we could have picked. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Hey, you want to talk about something stupid?
Yeah, let's talk about something stupid. I'm in.
Did you hear about the MLB and my stupid commissioner talking about the golden at bat?
Yeah, so what was that? I didn't understand what.
Oh, the joke. So this originally started as a joke on a radio show like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And the joke was because baseball's so boring that what should happen is every team should have one at bat where they can pick any player they want to at bat in any part. So like if it's like the 8th hole hitter, they can magically basically put like Shohei Ohtani in that spot instead.
Okay.
So he wants that like as an actual rule.
So so it's like a pinch hitter, but it's like, hey, we just give you an extra at bat type of thing to replace the pitcher in the 9 hole or whatever.
Whoever you want, whatever batter you want.
Or it's bottom of the 9th and it's your sit,
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so like Charlie Blackman could bat, or I guess in your case, like Nolan Arenado could if he was still
I was
still
like,
a
try naming a Rocky. I don't know if we have any besides Chris Bryant.
Chuck Nasty. I'll use Chuck Nasty
He
as an
retired.
example.
He retired.
Yeah, but if he was still
If he
there,
was still
like
there.
you could.
I see what you're saying. That seems dumb. That sound. You know? Did you guys ever play beer pong and you would have a celebrity shot? That's what it feels like. It feels like a celebrity shot in beer pong.
I think the last time I played beer pong, it was at my buddy's friend's like house on off campus, and so we played teams of 3 where it was like the 2-on-2. We had like a sub, so you could bounce back and forth like for a game.
Okay, yeah.
The last time we played and we stopped while we were hot, we drank the other team under the table. We shut them out, and they're like, nice. Get underneath there. And we didn't realize it was happening until the end. We're like, oh shit.
That's funny. Yeah, the golden at bat's weird though, because like, let's say that the 4, it's the bottom of the 9th, no outs, 4-hole hitter, your best hitter, Aaron Judge, whatever, is takes an at bat, gets to 3rd, 2 outs go by, and now it's bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, Aaron Judge on 3rd, but you would like Aaron Judge in the batter's box. How do you handle that? Is he just not eligible for your golden at bat?
No, you just put him there,
and you find a pinch runner for
I would assume
him
so.
at 3rd.
Yeah,
that brings up so many weird like rules stuff. Then what happens to the pinch hitter or the pinch runner? I should say, like if it's earlier in the game, like.
You think I answered this question?
I don't know if you can. I'm just trying to think of all the weird fucking scenarios that could happen because this rule sounds kind of stupid. Even though it would be very entertaining, I think, in some cases, being like, oh, are they going to use their golden at bat? Do they do like a Savannah Bananas like warm up before?
It's just ripping off the Savannah Bananas at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you see Enron's back?
Enron, like the energy company?
Yeah, they're back.
What are you talking about?
They're back.
Why? Didn't they destroy the environment or something?
No, they scam people out of money. But
is that what it was? Baby. I don't remember.
But they are back, baby.
Jesus. Oh, that's got to be a spoof account, right?
No,
there's no way that's real.
No, it's legit.
There's no way.
No, they're back. It literally says Enron Corporation announces relaunch with a vision to solve global energy crisis.
Okay.
Don't worry, Bernie Madoff's gonna come back too. Don't worry.
He's gonna rise up like a fucking zombie. All right.
All right, carry on. But that was my contribution.
Wow, that was
I think the Enron might have been better. I like I hear now, like Enron's.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I haven't heard that name in 15 years.
I know, right? However, if they want to send me a hat, I will gladly wear the Enron hat, just because I think it's so stupid.
That is stupid. So yeah, is Manfred an idiot, or is he worried about the future of baseball? If he's even entertaining this, I guess the NBA is entertaining stupid stuff too, like with the 4-point line and stuff.
I think a lot of it too is like it's one of those things that comes out of those brainstorming sessions, like the owners have.
Oh right, and we all know owners are the best source of ideas.
Where it's like there are no stupid suggestions. And no one has the balls to, except for that one.
Right, and no one can say no to a billionaire that pays their salary.
So it's just sort of like, like I figured that's what it is. Like it was just like
chilling,
me, like, drinking a couple Miller Lights.
Thing is, every once in a while, it feels like those things do end up becoming real things. Because, like, the NBA 3-point line was a joke, and then the ABA was like, hey, let's do this thing to be weird and quirky. And then they did it, and now it's, like, the backbone of all basketball. So, like, you never know. First off...
But sometimes, too, like, it kind of, like, it'll fizzle down into, like, a funnel or something. So it'll be like, oh, magic at bat.
into like
sort of
some
thing. Like
better
it's
idea that is sourced in that really stupid, ridiculous idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could see because I could see. First off, I don't. The baseball substitution rules are stupid. Same with soccer. Any substitution rule where it's like, hey,
That's probably I
that
have a feeling
you have to
that's what
fix.
you
Probably
that's
fix
probably what
that,
you would
right?
get. I
Yeah.
think that's what it would evolve into. It'd be like, hey, you can kind of like, because I remember the Braves had to do this really dumb thing to keep a pitcher, like a left-handed pitcher, out there. They
Mm-hmm.
had to hide him in left field and basically burn a bench guy every time to keep this left-handed reliever available. So it was like he had to go to
Wait,
play left field.
what? Like,
Yeah, it
wait.
was.
So was he
Yeah,
pitching, and they didn't want him
he
to
pitched, and they didn't want to burn that
burn his
bullet, so
arm, but they
they
wanted him near the end of the
they
game?
put him in left. Yeah, so they had to hide him like in left field for like 2/3 of an inning, and then have him like finish the game off. It was the most bizarre thing.
Oh, I guess if you were then going up against a righty batter, maybe you had a
Yeah,
righty that you wanted to go against the righty batter and then bring him back for the lefty next up. That's
yep.
weird.
It was really bizarre, but I remember them doing that where it was like they had to hide him in a they had to hide him like in the outfield so they could bring him back in because then it's not as all it is like a defensive player. Like you're basically
Yeah, you're just switching a
players.
defensive player. Yeah, because he's not actually getting removed from the game. That's really
Yep.
interesting. Why don't teams? You would feel like that could be something that could be done more. Like if you have a right-handed and a left-handed pitcher that both are competent in the outfield, why not just go backs and forthsies
Because you
between
basically
them
had,
if you're playing
the
if
idea
you're
was
going against a righty or a lefty?
well now they redid the rule where it was like they had to face like a minimum of three batters.
Oh, before they could switch to another outfield position.
Before they get switch pitchers.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you wait? So if I wanted to bring in a closer or a setup man for one guy in the ninth, that is not allowed. It has to be for three.
Yep.
Why? That's stupid.
Because so
is it the pace of play thing?
Yeah, because a lot of it has to do with postseason baseball. Because postseason baseball would come down to a screeching fucking halt. Because what would end up happening is later innings, they would basically have guys face one batter.
Right, and then they do a pitching change.
Whether it's a pitch or not, and then they switch it again. So one inning would take 45 minutes because of how they use
changing pitchers. Yeah, and then they get a warm up and all that stuff.
Yep. So basically, it was just absurd. They're like, okay, they have to at least face three guys.
Huh. I hate that.
But at first I thought I hate it too, but then I thought I'm like, oh, this makes things way more more chess gamey. Because
do you think it does
rule,
though?
Because the rule or the way around it is if you want to do that is like so what they'll do to get around it is they put him in at the back end of the inning. So if he only gets one out in the inning or comes in and he gets like a double play, you can pull him because the inning's over.
Got you. So you can't just go back and forth in the middle of an inning.
But you can do it on the back end.
You can do it in between innings. Okay.
Yep. So it's a little yeah.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. It is chess gamey. It feels chess gamey before as well. Just now it's in a little different way.
But I think I like the idea of having it be like, oh, if he doesn't, or have something where it's like, oh, they can bring it back out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like you should be able to. Like, I understand the lineup makes things more difficult because you don't want to have a scenario where you can have a guy bat fourth and then you can then move him back into seventh because you need a big hit or whatever.
Yeah.
So that definitely changes things, like makes things weird. But for pitchers, I don't see, especially because pitchers don't bat anymore. So like, who cares? Like,
yeah, because it just feels like you're wasting bullets. Because I know they do it in soccer. It's fucking bizarre.
Well, yeah, where you sub off and then you're done for the night. Like,
yeah,
I hate that. Like, that's part of the reason why I love basketball. It's like, hey, we get a rest during the game.
Well, same thing with hockey.
In hockey, same thing. Yeah, exactly. You get different
because they have like full linges. So it's like I kind of wish baseball did that to a certain degree, where it's like, hey, we need a better center fielder for this inning. Like, hey, we're gonna pull Mike Trout and put in Kevin
Right, or like the next three batters are all lefties that pull. Like, we need someone better in right field. Or
right field.
Yeah. So, which I think that'd be a good idea because that does bring up a lot of different types
I'd
of
much
defensive
rather
scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd much rather have it be because then it makes like your defensive substitutions a little more strategic, and you can do a little bit more like varied. Because like I think Little League did it where it was like you don't necessarily have to have them at bat per se, but I think
Right.
a distinction of like, hey, like what if instead of a golden at bat you got essentially like a special substitution like in Little League where it's like a special pinch runner where you don't lose that batter's spot in the order if you need a faster guy out there. You still have him
Right.
and have that apply to every facet, like a special substitution on the defensive side, and you get one of each or something.
That'd be interesting. What also, hold on.
Which would be more fun.
What if we just had separate lineups for the outfield versus batters? Like, don't make it related at all. You could have 9 batters and 9
like
fielders. Exactly.
Make it like football.
And people play with both, Nolan Arenado, we would play defense and he would bat as well. But some guys are defensive specialists. They suck in the lineup. But then you have those guys off the bench who can't play defense, but
so
they
have like an extra designated hitter.
I'm not saying extra. I'm saying you can have an entire team of designated hitters. You could split your team up so you have 9 batters, 9 defensive players. You're playing 18 players during the game.
Well, the whole thing is that would expand the rosters. I don't think that's going to happen.
That's fine. I'm down, and I understand money-wise it would never happen. But
I mean, realistic. Like you'd have probably most of them that did it, but if you had like I was like 1 or 2 guys. Because then, realistically, if you could figure out a way to get an extra designated hitter out of it.
Honestly, and that's probably the middle ground, right? Is like an extra designated hitter, 1 or 2 maybe. Like, I think that would make it way more entertaining to have.
It'd probably make it easier, because then you get defensive specialists you don't necessarily, like, you wouldn't necessarily use for at-bats, like use them for speed or something.
100%.
They probably have more value.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's plenty of guys that can play defense, but can't hit for anything. So like,
and guys who can hit, they can't do defense.
They can't they play first base because that's like the safest position for someone who can't move in the outfield. Like,
right.
So I don't know. I don't
know. Right.
Stupid. They're stupid ideas, but I like them.
Did we just fix baseball?
I think we just fixed baseball. Increase offense, made it more entertaining, more strategic.
have like make it like football where you have guys who just play defense.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, personally.
Turn your outfield into your safeties, where it's like your outfielders don't necessarily have to play the field.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, you get a little bit more specialists out there, so I think that you end up getting a better product overall, because you're seeing everyone do what they do best rather than trying to see guys who suck at one thing try to do that one thing.
Probably.
They'll never go for it though. Baseball's too set in its ways. It'll never happen. I'm honestly surprised that the DH even came to the National League. It's a miracle.
I think that was mainly a COVID thing.
Probably, but like
that too, and like
I never thought it would happen.
And plus, what's wild is you look at like the history of like that, like the odd number of injuries you would get because of pitchers hitting was kind of high.
Was it really? Interesting.
It was higher than it should have. Like there are guys who like roll their ankles running and stuff.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They have to like slide and like they hit the base wrong, or they break a finger, but like bunting. Like it was like kind of just a walking safety hazard.
I guess that makes sense. And all it cost was a guy like Bartolo Colon. We'll miss him. Like
you miss guys. Like
there were a couple pitchers that
there were pitchers that could hit. Like I mean. Rocky, Colorado Rockies legend Mike Hampton, I think, won a Silver Slugger.
He did, yeah. And then there was Bumgarner could hit a little bit in San Francisco. Yeah, I remember him hitting some dingers against the Rockies, and I was like, "What are we doing here?" I cannot believe this.
Like, and mind you, those are fun. Like those are fun cards in the show, but then they came out the out of position series where it's just like, "Hey, you want these guys that can hit? Fuck yeah, you do." Yeah, your 2001 Silver Slug. He won back. The dude won 3 Silver Sluggers in a row. He won 5 Silver Sluggers in a row.
Let's go.
From 1999 to 2003, he won Silver Sluggers. He also was the runner-up for Cy Youngs and the Cy Young in '99. 21st in the MVP vote. What the hell happened? God damn.
Let's go, Rockies
Mike
legend.
Hampton, legend. Rockies legend, Mike Hampton.
Oh my God, this guy's average is up around 300 during those years.
He was an all-star with an ERA of his ERA. Wait, what was his ERA? Wait. His ERA it was 5.41. It was an all-star. Jesus Christ.
Oof.
13 and 14. God, and next year it was 6.615. God damn.
They were like, let's cut this guy some slack. He plays in Colorado, but damn, he could put some wood on a ball.
Damn, he
dude.
could hit the wood on the ball. Yeah. Jesus, dude. God, Colorado broke this guy.
Colorado breaks every pitcher. Like the only
and then
one
went to the Braves. Yeah. They went to the Braves. His ERA dropped to 3.84.
Yeah. This is not a kind environment for pitchers, except for Ubaldo Jimenez. I think he's the only good one we've had.
That's so sick. God, his ERA was so bad. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. God damn, that's horrible. Bad. Hey, what was the Rockies pitching staff like, man? Now I got questions.
You're talking this year?
No, 2001.
2001 pitching staff. Well.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus, this is awful.
Dead last, I'll tell you that.
The ERAs were as follows. Mike Hansen had a 5.41. Danny Neagle had 5.38. Sean Chacon had 5.06 ERA. Pedro Acosto 5.49. Brian Bohannon 7.14. And John Thomas had a 4.04 in 14 games started.
Incredible.
God.
Yeah, the team ERA was 5.29.
God damn.
Yeah, so bad.
God, this is pre-humidor days, bro. Todd Helton, however, 49 home runs, 146
Todd Helton was a monster, dude.
Larry Walker had 38 home runs. God damn. The man batted 350. Jesus Christ. You guys couldn't pitch for shit, but man, you did the snot out of the ball.
Yeah. That's see, and that's just the Rockies. That's how we live. I don't understand. We need to lean in more into that, okay? Like, and I've said it many times before. I want sinkers. I want low fastballs. I want cutters. I don't want no curveballs. I don't want no hanging sliders. I don't want a knuckleball. None of that. All right? Like, the Rockies, there's a very specific type of pitcher they need to find. And they try to do it traditionally, but you just can't. You gotta accept where you live. They refuse.
I just love the fact that still in 2002, the ERAs were still in the fives. No, Jason Jennings had an ERA of 4.5. There you go. Hey, you had a pitcher win Rookie of the Year. Look at you.
Oh, did we?
Jason Jennings won Rookie of the Year in 2002 for the National League with the 16-8 record in Coors Field.
Hey, that's not bad. Hey, I'll take that. 4.52 ERA, baller.
How do you feel about that?
Hey, I'll take it. We don't get a lot of awards over here.
That's not. Mind you, the guy who won the Cy Young was Randy Johnson, who went 24-5.
Yeah, but that's also Randy Johnson because I'm a monster.
Hey, he only doubled Jason Jennings' strikeouts. 334 to 127.
I need to see the pitching. Like, who led the Rockies ERA in 2002? Second to last. Hey, we weren't last. Texas Rangers.
Who was last? Texas
Rangers. Yeah, they're a bad team. Apparently. So
I love how this first year in Colorado was his best year, 16 wins, and it just decreased as this year's went on.
Well, and I think that's part of the thing, right? Like, it seems like in a lot of cases, pitchers, once the other teams know their stuff and what they throw and when they throw it, like, pitchers are more likely to get abused. And that's especially true in Colorado, where if you're making contact, it's going a mile.
Basically.
So,
unfortunately,
that doesn't surprise me, honestly, that his first season would be his best one.
All right, you want to talk some NBA and we'll close her up?
Yeah. Yeah, we got the NBA Cup. Yeah, let me pull up who the matchups are. NBA Cup bracket. we have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Magic, 1 seed versus 4 seed. Then we have the New York Knicks and the Hawks, the 2-3 seed in the East. Then in the West, we got Thunder Mavericks as a 1-4 seed, and then Rockets Warriors as a 2-3 seed. So,
and 2 of those, these are all next week.
Yeah, these are all next, the 10th and 11th, so that's Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, like, none of these really surprised me all that much. Like, there are 2 that kind of surprised me. The Hawks and the Rockets a little bit, though the Rockets have been really good. I think they're in the number 2 seed in the West right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're young and good. They're the Pacers of this year, I think, in terms of the NBA Cup. I'd like that wouldn't surprise me.
It's gonna be great when the Bucks win this thing, huh?
Yeah, they're good again. I think they're good again. After the horrific start to the season, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won 7 of the last 8. They lost what was it, last night against the Hawks? But yeah, they have finally figured some stuff out, and I think it's because
are they good again?
Well, it's because Giannis has like just kind of carried that team. He's basically doing what Jokic does, or is doing, where he's just carrying them to, like, willing them to win. So, and I think Dame is playing better too, though they still do not have Chris Middleton, which is rough. Like that, once Middleton's back, I think they'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'd probably take the Bucks over the Magic, especially with Banchero out.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally would have Bucks over Magic, and then I'd probably take the Knicks over the Hawks because the Knicks have a good vibe right now.
Knicks are good vibes.
I feel like they're pretty decent vibes.
Mm.
Like Karl Anthony Towns seems like he actually, like, it's funny watching Minnesota starting to kind of implode on themselves. And I don't know if you would have told me 4 years ago if Karl Anthony Towns was holding that team together, I'd have been like, you're crazy. You're nuts. But the fact that it is, that I think that's what's happening. I think he was the glue holding the Timberwolves together, and he just brought his good vibes over the Knicks, and they're kind of vibing a little bit. So,
are the Knicks good again?
Yeah, they're 13-8. They have a good team. Like I think of all the teams in the NBA, they scare me. Probably like they're like a top 5 team in the NBA. I think they're the second best team in the East. Like it's the Celtics, and then you have the Knicks probably right under them. So
you buying the Knicks, huh?
Oh yeah, I'll buy the Knicks stock, 100%, 100%. Because Tibbs is a good coach. Brunson's a superstar. They don't have Randall anymore, which is a big plus because he is a tough watch a lot of days. And then Mikal Bridges is really good, even though he can't shoot anymore.
They stole Brunson from the Mavericks, though.
Yeah, that was highway robbery. That, like, I understand the Mavs got Kyrie, and you wouldn't have a team with Kyrie, Brunson, and Luka, but, like, I feel like the Mavs are definitely kicking themselves not being able to get Brunson for how much his contract was worth at that time.
And what he's doing.
Yeah, he's so good. Like it annoys, like whenever the Nuggets play them, it annoys me because he's so good at, like, just drawing fouls and just, like, doing these little moves to get just enough space to just, like, hit a jumper over a 7-footer from, like, 15 feet out. He's so good.
Oh man.
Then in the West, Thunder, Mavs, Rockets, Warriors. I'm honestly kind of surprised the Mavs are here, and they're the 3 seed in the West, because they were they were doing something similar to the Bucks, where they started off the season really slow, and then Luka got hurt, and they started winning again. So who knows?
We'll see.
Luka
I don't
Jokic,
necessarily know.
Luka Jokic, the future.
Listen, can we not? No.
Thing is, the Nuggets can't do anything until next summer because Jamal Murray's contract says he cannot be traded until the
So good
offseason.
luck. Good luck having that happen.
Hey, one can dream. And then Rockets Warriors. I don't know how the Warriors are this good. They shouldn't be this good. The Nuggets beat them
I
last
think they'll
night,
come
though.
back to earth.
Yeah, I think so. Especially because I think they're playing like a 12-man rotation, which just isn't sustainable over the course of a season. So,
Do you want to hear something crazy in the college basketball world?
yes.
Creighton beat number 1 Kansas.
Ooh, did they? Let's go, Creighton.
76-63.
Nice. Yeah, the UConn got beat a couple times and like tumbled in the rankings because they started the season number 1, right?
I have no idea.
And I think they lost 3 straight. Lost to Colorado, by the way. And now they're ranked 25th. So, not that it matters because it's college basketball and we still have like 4 months until anything.
Yeah, college basketball drives me insane. Speaking of college, did you see that once again Alabama somehow is going to get into the college playoff?
I did. It's Miami's fault. Like, why did they have to go to lose?
You know what's funny? I think Miami's better than Alabama. I think Miami's better than Alabama.
I agree.
And I think South Carolina is better than Alabama.
Oh, I agree.
But I think you live in a world where they can't
leave Alabama out.
They can't leave Alabama out.
They're
going to try like hell to get him back in. Hell, you want to know what's funny?
What?
So I compared in my text chain. Rice is in this, but I compared BYU to Miami. You want to know something hilarious?
What?
BYU overperformed and Miami underperformed.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, like
so BYU had the stronger strength of schedule and all that. The only difference was BYU's quarterback play. Miami outplayed BYU by a wide margin.
Right.
Not even close.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where BYU would rise to the occasion 9 times out of 10. Miami didn't.
No, Miami has some bad losses this year too. Like,
yeah, Georgia Tech, Syracuse.
Yeah, how do you lose to Syracuse last week of the season? I understand Syracuse is pretty good. I think they were like 8-3 this year, but
yeah, they were.
That's a tough loss. Like, you win and you're in the college football playoff in all likelihood. Like,
well, I mean, the whole thing is BYU did the same thing, but I think the one thing the committee doesn't take into account is, personally, I think, mind you, I'm not defending BYU, but I am going to say it's rather bullshitish that it comes down to BYU's schedule in conference they have no control over versus Iowa, where they have no control over. That, the slight difference of strength of schedule in your conference gets you. And I'm like, no, that's fucking horseshit. Like, BYU was the second best team in that conference. The fact that TCU's win played into it is absurd.
Oh, agree. Yeah, no, the whole strength of schedule thing is so stupid. Because
how it used to be was it used to be out of conference scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
So BYU went undefeated in out of conference scheduling.
Right.
They should be in it. Because the whole thing is, and I get the whole thing, like, it's college football, but I think at some point you have to award the teams that do well and have like a rough patch when it comes to your conference game. Because no offense, Iowa State's not the second best team in that conference. It's BYU. It was probably Arizona, BYU 1. I'm gonna say Colorado was probably 3 in that 2-3, and Iowa's 3-4. That's probably how it was. And it's not. And it's disingenuous to a conference when probably the 4th best team in your conference gets in. Oh, because we didn't play Houston.
Right. Well,
like, that's a little absurd.
Yeah, I mean,
personally, it's not my conference, but I'm like, that kind of seems a little odd that the team that basically ran the table for the majority of it misses out because of a weird in-conference schedule.
It is, yeah, and that rough patch at the end of the year, like that, like BYU lost to Kansas and Arizona State. I would think we both agree both really good teams. Arizona State obviously won the conference. They're the best team in the conference. Kansas, while had a not a
They
great
had
record,
injuries.
they played everyone tough. They were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State's losses were to Texas Tech and then Kansas. So you're essentially comparing Texas Tech, who is pretty mid, to a loss to Arizona State, which is obviously,
which to me is unfair.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the whole thing. Is it just feels like you're being punished because of like randomness, and I don't like that.
Yeah, and part of it,
their SOS was slightly better. What doesn't matter? Who's the better team? The team that went what 8-9-0 to start the year, that just had a bad rough patch. They're being punished versus Iowa State, who's gonna get slaughtered come Saturday. Like,
yeah, Iowa State's gonna get killed.
They're gonna get murdered, and BYU's not gonna benefit from that because Arizona's the 12 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, I really do think this committee's gonna have to start looking at, or somebody said, like, on a podcast I listened to, eventually these conference title games are just gonna have to go away because you're not benefiting
the conference.
They're not benefiting anyone. All you're doing is you're benefiting a third team if one of these teams loses. Like, an upset happens.
Yep. I agree. And yeah,
because really, plus realistically, what some bullshit's gonna happen is, let's say, because like, okay, Texas, Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. If Texas wins, Georgia's out and Alabama's is for sure gonna get in. Yes. Should that happen? No, 1,000%. But if Georgia beats
it
Texas,
will happen though.
But it's like, if Texas beats Georgia, Texas will still get in, and Alabama might not get in. Like, that's the part that absurds me. Is like, why are you punishing the team that had play another game?
That's true, yeah, because they would be punishing Georgia.
That's why is Georgia getting punished because Alabama sucked?
Right. Honestly,
no one's looking at Alabama saying Alabama's one of the top 12 teams in the country. No one's doing that.
No, and they shouldn't be considered that. Yeah, honestly, they should make it so have a conference title games or don't, whatever. But like, they really should. They shouldn't automatically take the conference title champion. They should take the best team from each conference. Whether they win the conference title or not, I don't think shouldn't matter.
I think the best way to go about it is almost like how college basketball does it. Where it's like there's that automatic bid, but more than likely, like, if you make your conference game, you're probably getting in. But then you have to expand it that much more, and I don't think they want to expand it that much more.
Though, I mean, we're talking about 4 conferences getting an automatic bid because you're not giving one.
So really, you could do if you were to do so. If they were to say, like,
you get 8,
you get in. You do 8 and 4, like 4 at-large bids, which are like
you would do 3 at-large bids because one would be the non-Power 4 winner, like Boise State. So, but I think that's fine, right? You get the 2 best from each conference, in all likelihood, the 2 in the in the 2 in the conference championship game, and then you get the 3 best at-large, one of which is probably Notre Dame. So really, there's 2 spots up for grabs. And honestly, force Notre Dame to get a conference. Like, what are we doing here?
I would say, Notre Dame should just be in the ACC.
Just throw them in the ACC or the SEC or something and call it a day. Big Ten probably is where they should go.
Where do they play for basketball? Is it the ACC?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I think they're Big Ten. Though that's changed so much that I honestly have no idea.
I thought they were basketball. I could have sworn they were basketball.
I'm gonna find out real quick. They're in the ACC.
So I figured just put in the ACC.
Though that's also the best basketball conference, so.
Yeah, so put in the ACC for football as well, where they should be.
Yeah. Though, in Notre Dame, I think it would make sense to have essentially wherever the best conference is for whatever the sport is, throw them there.
Put them in the SEC.
Yeah, put them in the SEC for football, put them in the ACC for basketball. Like,
I think they're in the ACC for everything.
Are they in the ACC for everything? Other than
I think they're in the ACC for baseball too.
Okay. Because like Notre Dame is one of those handful of schools that like they're always going to be good, pretty much no matter what. Like they're always going to get the recruits, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah, Notre Dame's literally in it for every sport other than like the 3 big sports. They're in for baseball too.
Throw them in the ACC then. But yeah, you're right. Like, the fact that Alabama is going to benefit because Georgia's probably going to lose is kind of ridiculous because Georgia's a better team.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to mention Colorado's losses, at least in conference, was Kansas and Kansas State. So their 2 losses in conference, again, better than Iowa State's.
Probably. Probably. It's
I
probably
mean,
fair.
Kansas State's definitely better than Texas Tech. So
Well, Kansas actually had like a running back. Like people forget, like they actually had a player.
yeah, Kansas was really good. That game made me sad.
Yeah. But who knows? That's college football. It's all bullshit.
It is. Before we end, I just want to throw a shout out to Bo Nix and the Broncos defense because
Yeah, you got a boner.
yeah, Bogasm,
Bogasm.
as
I thought you'd get a kick out of that
Brandon
one.
Perna say.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that one.
Yeah.
God, if they win their playoff, if they somehow beat the Bills and win their playoff game, that man's not going to know what to do with himself.
That's gonna feed families in Denver, dude. It's gonna be so good. Like, and the thing is, I think we can do it. Like, Bo Nix is he threw. So I'm getting into like kind of the dangerous hope category.
He's believing.
So I'm believing. But yeah, so Bo Nix threw a pick the other day, but it was also tip pass, so I'm not too mad.
Yeah.
Our defense couldn't stop Jameis Winston.
He didn't have
anything.
Moss either.
We did not have Riley Moss, and during that game, Cason Wallace, I think it's Cason Wallace, 39, was getting absolutely smoked the entire game. Like, Jerry Jeudy was like, you're barely running with me, and would destroy him. And it took us until the 4th quarter before we were starting to have Pat Surtain follow Jerry Jeudy. Oh, and at that point, Jerry Jeudy stopped having an explosive game. So part of it is the defensive game plan. Part of it's not having Riley Moss, who's an underrated, really good corner. But luckily, Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston, and he loves to
He's got them 30. He's got that 30. He asked God to deliver him from pick sixes.
I know, and you know what? God will not answer those prayers because Jameis Winston, that's just what he does. Like, his stat line, hold on, is
it was something remarkable.
34 for 58 passes,
God.
497 yards,
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 of which were pick sixes.
Could you imagine if he didn't pick those pick sixes? That guy would have had a thing to remember.
It's an insane stat line. But yeah, I'm a believer, especially because our defense is not that bad. That was Levi Wallace, that's his name. He led the team in tackles because he was giving up every single thing thrown his way during that week. So,
well, he did it.
But then Jaquan McMillan came and saved the day with that pick six.
It's Jaquan McMillan.
Yeah, he's our slot corner. So he's our 3rd behind Riley Moss and Levi Wallace.
Oh, gotcha. Of course.
The 4th.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. That's enough Broncos. Go Broncos.
Oh, boy.
Super Bowl.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah. I just feel like the Tim Tebow magic is back, but it's Bo Nix.
God.
So.
Bo Nix is going to Tebow at the end of his playoff win.
I will see you in January, Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go.
Oh, God.
Overtime game winner slot. Cortland Sutton, dude. It's a remake of the Demaryius Thomas touchdown.
In Pittsburgh, no less.
In Pittsburgh. I think that one was in Denver.
That was in Denver.
It was in Denver.
The sequel is going to be in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and defeat Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Ooh yeah. It's because the sandwich isn't spicy, dude.
We're just gonna come back to that damn sandwich.
Always, because it's horrible. All right, I don't got nothing else. You got anything else?
Gonna do some high knees on the plane ride.
Do some high knees out this at the end of this podcast. All right, cool. Yeah, I guess we'll do again Saturday. This time with Bryce, and we'll figure out what we want to talk about. So
it'll probably be a lot of college football because all the conference games are then the only one we'll be going when we are live will be the Big 12, which will be it's Oregon, Penn State.
Yes,
and I think we all know Oregon's going to steamroll Penn State.
Oh yeah, they're going to destroy them.
So.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching. See you guys Saturday.